What do you get when you combine creativity, nostalgia, and a whole lot of sparkle? Hello, everybody. Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to shake up your decoration game with some fun shaker ornaments with sparkly confetti inside. I absolutely love handmade decorations with moving elements, like cake toppers or the 3D joy letters that we made. But these little shakers are so much more than just decorations. They're like tiny winter wonderlands you can hold in your hands. And they remind me so much of the snow globes my daughter Alexa adored growing up. She'd spend hours just shaking them, watching the snowflakes swirl around. So today I thought, why not capture a little of that holiday magic for our own trees? Traditional snow globes can often be too delicate or too heavy to display anywhere other than on a mantle or a table. So I wanted to make something sturdy enough to hold up to all the shaking, but also light enough to hang from a tree. Building these shaker ornaments in layers let me do just that. These ornaments are so simple and fun to make. Cardstock, craft glue, and foam tape combine to create a 3D disc with enough space to hold our confetti. And of course, we need a window so we can watch those sparkly bits move around on a pretty backdrop. So I'll show you how I used acetate and vinyl to set the scene. Now let me show you where to get my free files, and then we'll cut and assemble these amazing shaker ornaments together. First, download my free designs at jennifermaker.com/680. You can either download right from that link by saving the project or download from my entire free design collection. To find it, look for Libraries in the red bar at the top, and then click either Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. Search the page for design number 680 and click the link to download the designs. And if you're not sure how to do this, visit jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to download and unzip files. In the SVG folder, you'll find 3 shaker ornament designs to cut on a cutting machine: a Snowflakes ornament, a Snowman ornament, and a Stars ornament. There's also a DXF folder with additional cut files for other cutting machines, and a PDF folder with versions that you can print and cut by hand. I'll show you how to prepare and assemble the Snowman ornament using a Cricut cutting machine since it has the most vinyl layers, but the process is the same for all 3 ornaments. Here's how the Snowman SVG looks on my Cricut Design Space canvas. Let's ungroup the design to make the layers easier to work with. I always recommend ungrouping as they usually come in grouped. In the Layers panel, you have one grouped layer indicated by a small arrow. Click the arrow to expand the group and show 2 circle basic cut shapes. Select the top layer of the group in the Layers panel that has the light teal circle cut shape. This is an alignment ring to help during assembly. Click on the operation field at the top and choose Pen from the drop-down menu, so your machine knows to draw instead of cut this ring. With the draw layer selected, click the color box next to the operation menu and select the pen type and color you'd like to use. A thin, light pen, like gemstone blue, won't be visible when everything is assembled. In the Layers panel, click the layer with the arrow again to select both layers in the group, then click Attach to keep the alignment ring with the ornament's bottom layer. And now your project is ready to cut. Make sure the correct machine is selected in the top right, and then click Make. On the Prepare screen, make sure the correct material size is selected for your materials. I'm using 12 by 12 inches for everything. If you see a mat with just pen lines, that means your draw layer may not have attached correctly. So click Cancel to go back to the canvas to check that the layers are properly attached. Then find your mat with the white vinyl pieces for the snowbank and the snowman's top layer. Move the pieces away from each other so there's plenty of space around them for easy layering later. Once you're satisfied with your mat layouts, select the first mat again and click Continue so it's first on the next screen. On the Make screen, set the base material for your first mat. Mine is vinyl, so I'll select the Premium Vinyl Permanent Glossy setting with more pressure for cleaner cuts. Next, use a paper trimmer or scissors to trim your vinyl down to size. You want your vinyl to cover the design areas shown on the screen and give yourself an inch or so of buffer. Then place your vinyl shiny side up on a green standard grip machine mat so it covers the design area on your screen. and use a brayer to make sure it's fully adhered. Check that your premium fine point blade is clean and in the clamp, and then press the flashing load button to load the prepared mat into your cutting machine. When that's done, press the flashing middle button to begin cutting. When it has finished cutting, don't unload the mat right away. Instead, gently lift a corner of the material to make sure the cuts went all the way through the material, but not the vinyl's carrier sheet. If they didn't, press the middle button again to make a second pass of cuts in the same spots. If you have any issues getting clean cuts, go to jennifermaker.com/cleanercuts. When the cuts are complete, keep the vinyl on your mat and use your weeding tool to carefully peel away the extra background vinyl. Then poke your weeding tool into small sections of the design you want to remove. Continue to weed until all that is left is the vinyl for your design. Then flip your mat over onto your work surface and roll the mat back to release the vinyl with its carrier sheet. For my cardstock mats, I'm using the medium cardstock setting with more pressure. Place your cardstock face up on a green standard grip machine mat. Then repeat the cutting steps to cut your cardstock. When the cuts are complete, unload your mat, flip your mat over onto your work surface, and roll the mat back to release the cardstock without ripping or tearing. And I recommend you use the spatula to help lift delicate parts too. And use the scraper tool to remove the bits of cardstock left on your mat after you remove the cut pieces. For your acetate mat, change your material setting to acetate with more pressure. Trim your acetate to match the design area on your screen plus about an inch. Then take the protective film off the top side of the acetate only. Place the acetate's still protected bottom side on a green standard grip machine mat to keep adhesive and scratches from damaging your material. Then follow the same steps to load, cut, and release your acetate. The glitter cardstock mat can also be cut and unloaded the same way as the regular cardstock. Just remember to change its material settings to glitter cardstock with more pressure. Now, glitter can stick to the blade and cause trouble on your future cuts, so I highly recommend cleaning your blade after each sheet of glitter cardstock. You can take the housing and blade out of the clamp, press down on the plunger, and carefully poke the blade into a ball of aluminum foil several times. You can also clean it with an alcohol wipe or a microfiber cloth with some isopropyl alcohol. Just be careful because it's sharp. For your cardstock mat with draw lines, follow the screen prompts to grab your pen. Remove the pen's cap and put it back on the end of the pen so you don't lose it, and test the pen on some scrap paper to make sure it flows well. Then load it into the indicated clamp. Now load and cut your cardstock the same way as before. The Cricut will draw your alignment ring right onto your background piece. Once all of your pieces are cut, lay them face up in organized piles. You should have a glitter cardstock piece, an acetate piece, and a regular cardstock backer piece for the top of your ornament. For the vinyl decal, you should have a white snow layer, a black snowman base layer, a white snowman top layer, a red scarf piece, and an orange nose piece. And you should have a regular cardstock back piece with an alignment ring drawn on for the bottom of the ornament. Assemble your snowman's vinyl letters. The vinyl will be layered with the snow on the bottom, then the black snowman base, the white snowman top, the scarf, and the nose on top. This will make a lovely backdrop scene, just like we would see in a snow globe. Lay the bottommost vinyl piece, which is the snowbank, face up on your work surface with the teal cardstock back piece next to it. Cut a piece of standard grip transfer tape and a piece of parchment paper slightly larger than the back piece. Remove the backing from the transfer tape. Then pat your fingers on its adhesive side to lessen its stickiness and prevent damage to your cardstock. Hold your transfer tape in the shape of a taco or a U shape, sticky side down. Then put its bottom onto the middle of the white snowbank layer. Smooth the transfer tape over the decal from the center outward and burnish it down using the scraper tool. Flip your vinyl over and burnish again. Then gently peel away the backing. Place the parchment paper on top of the backer piece so some of the cardstock is exposed at the top. Gently place your first vinyl piece onto the parchment paper. Since the parchment paper is between the two layers, you can position the vinyl before sticking it to the cardstock. So adjust the top decal until the snowbank lines up with the curve of the drawn alignment ring, leaving a small area of transfer tape touching the bottom carrier sheet. When the layers line up, lightly press the exposed section of transfer tape onto the cardstock. But don't press too hard or you'll damage the cardstock when you lift it later on. Hold the transfer tape in place with one hand and use the other hand to lift the second layer and gently remove the parchment paper. Gently lower the transfer tape and vinyl layer back into place. Then use your finger to burnish down only the area where the vinyl lays on the cardstock back piece. Carefully peel away the transfer tape to reveal your first two combined layers. Next, prepare the same pieces of transfer tape and parchment paper to apply the snowman's back base decal to the snowbank layer. Position the snowman so it's slightly diagonal on top of the snowbank while still fitting inside the alignment ring. Then transfer the vinyl to the assembled layers. Then repeat this process until all the layers of your design are in place. Isn't our snowman already super cute? He's going to have so much fun once we add the confetti. Next, peel one strip of the 1/4 inch wide adhesive foam tape from its carrier sheet, leaving the protective backing in place for now. Carefully adhere the tape sticky side flush along the background piece's outer edge, on the same side as the vinyl. Work in small sections to make sure the adhesive sticks well. The foam is very flexible, so you can ease it right along the curve to match the cardstock's round shape. One strip won't be enough for the entire ornament, so when you reach the end, peel off another strip of the adhesive foam tape. Firmly attach the new strip to one end of the first strip, then adhere it flush along the rest of the cardstock piece's edge to complete the ornament's walls. Use scissors to trim away the excess adhesive tape just past where the seam overlaps. Then press the end in place. Squeezing in the excess tape ensures that the ornament's walls are tightly sealed. Once the walls are secure, add the filler to the inside of your ornament. There should be enough to move around easily when shaking, but without covering too much of the background design, just like my daughter's old snow globes. If your filler has a lot of static preventing it from moving around freely, wrap the pieces in a dryer sheet and rub them gently to remove the static before adding the decorations to your ornament. We don't want the confetti to go flying everywhere when we shake our ornament, so let's make a top for it. To assemble the top of your shaker ornament, peel the remaining protective film from the acetate. Use a weeding tool to help remove the film if you need it. Lay the cardstock backer piece on your work surface and add a thin line of craft glue around its inside edge. Center the acetate on the top backer, then press them together. Wipe away any excess glue using your finger or a paper towel, then let it dry for a few minutes. Then add a thin line of craft glue around the acetate's outside edge on the backer, including on the hanging loop. Keeping the hanging loops aligned, center the glitter cardstock top piece over the acetate and backer. Press the pieces together, then wipe away excess glue and let them dry. Then use a lint-free cloth and isopropyl alcohol to wipe away any smudges or fingerprints on the acetate. Next, peel the protective backing from the top of the adhesive strip, forming the ornament's walls. Center the assembled top piece on the adhesive strip, with the hanging loop where you want the ornament's top. You want a round ornament, so make sure the foam is flush with the top piece's edges, then push them in if needed. Press firmly around the ornament's edge to seal the top piece in place. Avoid pressing in the center. You don't want your ornament to collapse. To finish the ornament, cut 13 inches of the 1/4 inch finishing ribbon. Then adhere the red 1/8 inch double-sided tape all around the ornament's outer walls. I like to leave the tape on its roll as I apply it so I can keep it centered, and then cut at the end. Once the tape is in place, use a weeding tool to peel up the backer. Press the finishing ribbon onto the tape around the ornament's walls and trim away any excess ribbon overlapping at the seam. Cut another 13-inch length of the finishing ribbon and slide it through the ornament's hanging loop. Tie the ribbon at the ends and then trim them at the same angle so they're neat and free of frayed threads. The snowflakes and stars ornaments go together almost the same way as the snowman, but these ornaments have only one layer of vinyl to apply to the background. Just make sure to keep the design completely inside the alignment ring, and you can position the vinyl however you like. You now have a fun and festive shaker ornament perfect for hanging in your home or gifting to a loved one. Would you like to make an ornament with a family photo or your own vinyl design? You can get my template and learn how to customize your ornament's background through a special program called Advance with Jennifer Maker over at jennifermaker.com/advance. The advanced program helps to advance your crafting skills by teaching you how to make these popular designs unique and special through tutorials and templates, as well as give you advanced access to my vast library of designs, projects, and resources. Plus, we have awesome member challenges and so much fun. Now, I may or may not be accepting new members into the advanced program at the time you see this, but if you're interested, go to jennifermaker.com/advance to learn more and see how it all works. Don't you just love the way these ornaments turned out? They're beautiful, shiny, and oh so much fun to play with. They're also a great way to bring back the childhood wonder of the holiday season. Imagine these sparkling on your tree, the lights dancing and putting on a show for you. It'll be hard to resist giving them a little shake every time you walk by. Now, if you're interested in customizing your ornament's background, don't forget to check out the advanced program to learn all about that, plus many other ways to personalize your projects for the holidays. And if you need a Cricut cutting machine to do all these cool things, I do a regular giveaway over on my blog at jennifermaker.com/Cricut giveaway. Get all the details and enter for your chance to win. And if you have a Cricut or craft-related question that you think I can help you with, just let me know. Leave your question below this video or ask in our awesome Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/Cricut Crafters. And please share a photo of your finished shaker ornaments with us in our group. I love to see your creations. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.